Dear students, today I am going to discuss with you the chapter number 2 of Fluid Mechanics and Machinery, that is Fluid Pressure and Measurement, Part 1. Now, what is pressure? Considering a small area in a large mass of fluid. If the fluid is stationary, then the force exerted by the surrounding fluid on the area will always be perpendicular to the surface. Let Tf is the force acting on the area dA in the normal direction, so that dF by dA is the intensity of pressure or pressure. Mathematically, pressure at a point in a fluid at rest is denoted by small p and is equal to dF by dA. If the force capital F is uniformly distributed over the area capital A, then pressure at any point capital P is equal to F by A, that is force by area. Therefore, force or pressure force is equal to small p into area. The units in MKs of pressure is kgf per meter square, and in SI Newton per meter square or Newton per millimeter square. We know that 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 1 Pascal and 1 kilopascal is equal to 1000 Newton per meter square. Absolute pressure, gauge pressure, atmospheric pressure and vacuum pressure. The pressure on a fluid is measured in two different systems. In one system, it is measured above the absolute zero or complete vacuum, and it is called absolute pressure. And in other system, pressure is measured above the atmospheric pressure and is called gauge pressure. Now, what is absolute pressure? It is defined as the pressure which is measured with reference to absolute vacuum pressure. What is gauge pressure? It is defined as the pressure which is measured with the help of a pressure measuring instrument in which the atmospheric pressure is taken as datum. The atmospheric pressure on the scale is marked as 0. Now, vacuum pressure. It is defined as the pressure below the atmospheric pressure. Now, from the figure we can write that absolute pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure plus gauge pressure. In other words, we can write P absolute is equal to P atmospheric plus P gauge. P absolute means the absolute pressure, which is equal to P atmospheric, that is the atmospheric pressure, plus P gauge, that is the gauge pressure. And it is also clear that vacuum pressure is equal to atmospheric pressure minus absolute pressure. We can measure the pressure on a static fluid by using manometers. The manometers are mainly of two types: simple manometer and differential manometers. Simple manometers are piezometer, U-tube manometer and single column manometer. U-tube manometers can be used for measuring gauge pressure and also for measuring vacuum pressure. The single column manometers are available in two types. These are vertical single column manometer and inclined single column manometer. Differential manometers are of two types: U-tube differential manometer and inverted U-tube differential manometer. Simple manometers. The simple manometers consist of a glass tube having one of its end connected to a point where pressure is to be measured and the other end remains open to the atmosphere. The common types of simple manometers are piezometer, U-tube manometer and single column manometer. Piezometer. It is used for measuring gauge pressure. One end of this manometer is connected to the point where the pressure is to be measured and the other end is open to the atmosphere. The rise of liquid gives the pressure head at that point. In the figure, if at a point capital A, the height of the liquid, say water, is small h in the piezometer tube, then pressure at the point A is equal to rho g into h, where rho g is the specific weight of that liquid. U-tube manometer. It consists of glass tube bent in U shape, one end of which is connected to a point at which pressure is to be measured and the other end remains open to the atmosphere. The tube generally contains mercury or any other liquid whose specific gravity is greater than the specific gravity of liquid whose pressure is to be measured. U-tube manometers are used for measuring gauge pressure and vacuum pressure both. For gauge pressure, let in the figure capital B is the point at which pressure is to be measured and whose value is small p, and the datum line is AA. As the pressure is the same for the horizontal surface, so that we can write that pressure above AA in the left column is equal to pressure above AA in the right column. So that in the left column the pressures are small p plus rho 1 g H1, and in the right column the pressure above AA is rho 2 g H2. So that we can write that small p plus rho 1 g H1, these are the summation of pressures in the left column, is equal to rho 2 g H2, which is the pressure at the right column above the line AA. So, rearranging the equation, we can write that small p is equal to rho 2 g H2 minus rho 1 g H1. So, in this way, the value of P can be measured. Now, for measuring the vacuum pressure. Here also in the figure, the B is the point at which the pressure is to be measured. We know that the pressure above the line A in the left column is equal to the pressure in the right column above the line AA. In the left column above AA, the pressures are ρ2 GH2 plus ρ1 GH1 plus small p is equal to 0, where small p is the pressure at B and ρ2 is the density of the heavier liquid and ρ1 is the density of lighter liquid. So, ρ1 into G means the specific weight of the lighter liquid and ρ2 into G means the specific weight of the heavier liquid. And since there is no liquid in the right column, so there is no pressure. So that from the figure we can write that ρ2GH2 plus ρ1GH1 plus P is equal to 0. By rearranging the equation, we can write that P, which is the pressure at the point B, is equal to minus within bracket ρ2GH2 plus ρ1GH1. This minus sign indicates that the vacuum pressure. Now, the part 1 of fluid pressure and pressure measurement is ended. We will be back with more manometers and pressure measuring instrument in part 2. Thank you for listening the lecture.